This is Trailer Park, the podcast Trailer Podcast. I'm Arielle Nissenblatt. It's been a while since I've kicked off the show. It feels really good to be back in the main hosting chair. On this show, my co-host Tim Villegas and I share podcast trailers with you, and then we break them down. What's so great about this trailer, and what could be better? We're here as a training tool. We want to help you up your audio creation game. We're also here as a discovery tool. Maybe you'll find your next favorite podcast with us. Who knows? This season, we've covered trailers about gay animals, foods that matter, chess scandals, and so much more. There's a lot to choose from, and we do hope you check out our back catalog for some inspiration. Now let's get to this week's trailer spotlight. I'll hit play on the trailer for the sequel pitch. It's a quick 59 seconds. Then Tim and I will be back with some analysis. Let's hit the tape.
Because nothing says a villain than some jangly keys.
And a crotch.
A lot of crotch shots.
Just a lot of crotch.
Welcome to Sequel Pitch.
One of the reasons people love Fast and Furious is that it's kind of this franchise that lets a certain kind of bloke watch soap operas.
We are a movie podcast where film enthusiast friends and sometimes special guests review a movie that doesn't have a follow-up film yet, then have a contest pitching our ideas for a sequel.
We need that jeopardy. We need that these people can actually
That's not
die.
jeopardy, that's people wanting a refund.
Sometimes the pitches are actually good. Sometimes they're so bad that they go all the way round and become good anyway. And sometimes it does all just descend into chaos, shouting and name-calling. But we do all have a lot of fun. And then he got extra double secret blown up with fire.
Plot armor, we all need it, goodies and baddies.
We put out a new episode every other Friday, and you can find us wherever you get your podcasts. See you soon.
Before I jump into my analysis for the trailer for the sequel pitch, let's find out what my co-host Tim Villegas thought about it. Here he is.
Hey friends, it's Tim. Here's what I really liked about the trailer. I like that the personality of the hosts were front and center. Right away, we hear their voices. We know what this show is going to sound like. And a show where the hosts are relatively unknown, I think that is really important to have personality show up in the trailer. I wish I knew who the hosts were and why they were making this podcast. Sometimes you don't necessarily need to know until maybe the very end, but I am curious, how do these people know each other and why they think it's interesting enough to make it? I wonder what the trailer would sound like if it had just like 30 more seconds, because I think that's all it really needs. You know, I love a short trailer, but I think 30 seconds would have given the creators enough time to give a little bit more information and context about the show. Overall, I like the composition. I like the music. I like the clips. Great job. And I'm looking forward to checking out the show.
Thank you, Tim. Insightful as always. Now, what do I think about this trailer? The concept for the show, in my opinion, is so perfect for the medium of audio for podcasts. And it's also such a great buddy cast concept. What a great way to get together with your friends, to be creative and to laugh along the way, and maybe even make some other people laugh. I thought that the trailer also hit on all of the above really well. It's quirky right down to the music choice. It's perfectly explanatory without giving too much away. I don't always love trailers that mix snippets of conversation from the show with voiceover on what the show is going to be about, but I think that this was the perfect combination, and I think this balance was achieved because the trailer was just the right length. I do think that the music was a bit too loud, and at times it competed with the voices. I also didn't hear the names of the people who are making the show during this trailer, and I am of two minds about that. Usually I say it's a given. Every trailer should tell us the name of the show, the name of the host or hosts, when the show is dropping, who the show is for, and a few other things here and there. But in this case, since it's a buddy show where friends are having a great time, they're coming together, making this show, and they're presumably not super famous, I think just sharing a bit about their personalities and the kind of banter they'll bring to the table was sufficient. If there was a way to throw in names, that would have been a bonus, but it wasn't a huge loss either. I'm curious what you think of this, listener. I don't often ask questions during my analysis, but I'm curious, do you think that every trailer should share the names of the people that are hosting that show, or do you think sometimes you can get away with not doing that? Overall, though, I thought that this trailer was really delightful. Another interesting piece to note here is that the sequel pitch posted an episode in October of 2023 that after an upcoming live show they were planning, they were going to go on hiatus, maybe indefinitely. I share this to A, let you know that there haven't been new episodes of the show since then, and B, also because their goodbye episode is worth checking out. It's a great example of letting listeners know what's up and why, and what to expect. We will link to that short episode in the show notes as well. That brings us to the end of this week's episode of Trailer Park, the podcast trailer podcast. Thank you for parking with us today to learn about the sequel pitch. And thank you to the creators of this show for submitting it to us. Let's share their names. Thank you to Drew, Ross, and Matt for making the sequel pitch and submitting it to us. Did you know that you can also submit a trailer to Trailer Park? Go to trailerparkpodcast.crd.co to learn more. And while I'm telling you to do things for us, here are a few more requests. First, maybe you want to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts so that we can read what you think of our show and so that other people can use your review to help them decide whether it's worth it to listen or not. I know a lot of podcasts ask this of their listeners, but there's reasoning behind it. We really just like to hear from you. Maybe you also want to follow us on social media. We're on Instagram and Threads at trailerpark_pod. And if you have a specific question or request, we're available by email at hello@trailerparkpod.com. Okay, that's it for requests. Now on to the rest of the show. There's really not that much left. Just a thank you to our sponsors, OSHA and FanList. OSHA is our hosting provider. We love them. They're super easy to use to upload podcasts and even get smart links so you can track your listeners. And FanList is our fan engagement page. You can go to fanlist.com/trailerpark to see it in action. We're back soon with another trailer that may inspire and delight you. Thank you for being here, and thank you to Tim for participating from afar. This episode was written by me, Arielle Nissenblatt. It's edited and produced by me and Tim Villegas. We record on Squadcast and we edit in Descript. Our music is from Melody, that's melod.ie. Our logo is from Caio Slikta. This show is listened to by you. Pat yourself on the back. You deserve it. Happy trails!